just about to start sorting through the boxes of RGV250M parts. They're in here, in that pile where I keep my lovely Blackbird. I'll show you that on another episode, and I'll take you in here and I'm going to excavate the boxes, take them back to my garden, and we'll have a little look through what we've got and see what I haven't got. So let's have a look. So let's have a little rummage, see what we've got. I know the place looks a mess, but it's just for storage. So all the plastics, as you've seen from the last video, I've sent away. So these are just spares, extras they've got. So I'm going to lift a few boxes out, and just started to rain a little bit, but I think it's only a light shower, so I'll take a couple of boxes down to the garden. We'll start sorting through, and I'm gonna see everything, see what's here, and make a list of what's missing, and then group them together in similar type of part, and then it'll be the process of stripping things down to send for zinc, vapor blasting, sorting all those out again like I did on the last RGV and the NSR. Okay. So we got seat. Might need recovering, shame. Everything's just thrown in together. Discs with seats with carbs. So I'll take these two boxes, maybe these three boxes actually, and we'll see what we've got. Hey, for those of you who are regular viewers to my channel, do you remember my outdoor bench? Well, over the yesterday and today, I thought I'm going to renovate it, because the top was all rotten because it was chipboard. So we found an old oak table, so that's solid oak top. I put a new metal cover on it, moved the vise to a better place, painted the bench in some gloss grey, and I think it looked better, don't you? Yeah, there she is. So I look ready for a fresh restoration there. So box number one, what have we got here? Right, headlight with brackets. Front mudguard stay. These are good blast, powder coat. Tank furniture, I took that off the other day. Various nuts and bolts off the fairings. Yeah, let's get that out of the way. Rear shock absorber and reservoir. There's all sorts in this box. Oh, freshly zinc wheel spindle front. Top yoke and ignition barrel. Front fairing mount. Rear caliper and mount. Oh, this is the whole thermostat, power valve actuator, and throttle cable oil, junction cable box, junction box. Then we've got front calipers, and the good news is we've got braided lines. Excellent news. So I thought I'd be buying those, but it's got hell. I can tell the hell because they've got the yellow. Oh, there we go, hell. I knew they were hell. They're good. What else have we got? Not a lot. Left-hand switch gear. It's a real mishmash of what's in each box. Then this isn't good. Right hand side footrest plate, but left hand side is here, but it's snapped. So there we go. That's not good. So I need to find one of those. I know I haven't got one because all the spares I've got are for a 21. This is a 22. So put that to one side. That's the first thing we need. Rear wheel spindle. Engine mounting bolt. And a knackered rear sprocket. Okay. A few clips. Put those in there in the for now. Right. So I think what we'll do is I will have a box. I'll have a box for each process, and I'll have a box for scrap. So I'm going to go and get some tools and start disassembling these as I sort them. And I'm going to make a list of things that I'm missing or I need. So see you in a bit. Right, well, something I've not shown you before. So this is the bottom pivot for the rear suspension. Now these, I've not had this before properly. The last bike I did, it was fine, but these, I can't turn that. This one's the same and that one, so the bearings are knackered, or at least the bushes are seized in. So therefore, when the pivot moves up and down and pivot and actually does what it says on the tin, these won't turn. So what you're doing is, on the suspension bolts, you can see actually where it's rusted and stuck. The actual bolt, it'll scrape the metal and it's turning the metal, which hence your suspension will work terribly. It'll be stiff, it won't work properly. So I'm pulling out these bushes with a puller. It's just a bush and a screw on the back, but I use various bits and bobs and big washers to pull things out. So I'm going to pull all these out and check what the bearings are like, and then we'll see if they need replacing. Yeah, so always check your bottom pivot, and if that's seized solid, that one, so is that one. That's just turning there, so always check that these are moving freely. At least take the bushes out and re-grease them minimum. Right, this is the frame. So I've come to examine it and see what condition it's in, because I've never really looked at it. So the main thing that leaps out straight away is this bit of damage here from the kickstart, which isn't pleasant. and won't be easy to fix and make look good again. I'm thinking the best thing to do is maybe get that gouge welded, filled, and then somehow try and get the finish back on it. There's a little hole there too, and somehow try and get the finish back on it. The rest of the frame though is quite clean. It's not as clean as I'd like it in there. He's had a go at cleaning it, but it needs to be better than that. Not too bad along the sides, not oxidised, so quite happy about that. Yeah, so it's that damage. And then if we move on to the swinging, I'm going to get these out. They're not good, they always rust, but the good news is the frame's not cracked. They usually crack around here. Then the thing I'm not happy about is somebody's had a go at rubbing the swinging arm. So I think what I might do is, no, it's not perfect obviously, but what I might do is either I'll have a go at it first and see if I can polish it up without, I don't mean bright polish, I mean rub it down and get it brush finished again. If that doesn't work, that might have to go to factory coatings or somewhere similar, because it's oxidised on that top edge there. So I might splash out the money and see what it costs to get that done, because they can pull that little dint out as well and fix these bits. So that's inside's good, yeah, but they do look amazing when they've been properly tidied up. So I'm trying to make this bike as good as I can possibly get without making it a money pit, but that might be one little area where I splash some cash. Right, I'm just these are C-solid, these bearings, swinging arm bearings. I've got the bushes out and you can see they'll clean up, but there's a lot of corrosion in there. So in that bearing, water has got in. I know it's not very light, so that bearing isn't, that one's not too bad, it moves a bit. So there's a drift inside, like a tube, so the bushes sitting there, so I managed to get them out. But now I need to push this out on the one on the other side underneath, and I'm going to try and use the drift with a washer and use this as a puller. So put that through with a washer that'll go through the bearing, but it'll sit on the drift inside there. Hard to see, I know. So let's see what happens. Right, so it's time to strip the RGV motor, and there she is in all her dirty glory. Just wheeled her out of my spare lockup. It's actually not that bad. I've seen engines in a lot worse condition than this. The evidence, one little thing I want to point out is the evidence of this bike. I've noticed on the swinging arm and inside some of the nooks and crannies on the frame that I think somebody has painted it all black over the years. And there's another little bit of evidence there where the clutch actuator arm is painted black. It's literally just black spray paint, and there's all bits of black paint flaking that's flaked off. So I'm pretty sure somebody's blacked out this bike in the past. Not the engine, but the frame, swinging arm, and any bits and bobs. So that engine I'm going to bring onto the bench here. Now, a while back, a few years ago actually, I've had a spare engine stored on this. This is a engine mount. Now, it's handy for just holding the engine upright. There's a guy on one of the forums, on one of the groups on Facebook, who makes these. He's in Czech Republic, and he made me a puller to get the flywheel off a VJ22, which has since snapped, so it wasn't that good. But this little engine mount thing is fine. It was only cheap, like 30 quid, so that comes in handy for building, stripping engines. I might even lock it in the vise there. We'll see how we get on, because it's not that heavy, so it doesn't sit on the bench that well. Could move around, but it'd probably be okay for stripping the engine down. So yeah, that's this morning's task. So what I might do is I might put it on time lapse, or at least show you the important bits of stripping a motor. It's going right down to bare engine cases, bearings out of it, because it's all getting vapor blasted. Although it's not in that bad condition, to be fair, but it's been painted before, this side casing for instance. So yeah, so that's this morning's task, and I'll run you through it as I do it. So first job, just so I can mount the engine onto the stand, because this is underneath, so anything underneath is coming off. So the oil line shield, that's off. I've taken I've taken one of them's in the other box. That's an engine mount anti-vibration rubber that goes in there, like so. That's out. So next, I don't even know if it's got oil in it. I might have to drain it first. Yeah, I will. I'll make sure there's no oil in it, because there probably is. I'll go and split in the case and there'll be oil in it. So I'll drain that. Then it'll be a case of side casings off, both sides, cylinders off, which are already loose, as you can see. Somebody's already had a go at them, so I'm intrigued to see what the pistons are like. Hopefully they're good. Might need some rings, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not skimping on this engine. This one's going to be everything needs to be right, 100%. So we'll have a look. Yep, there was indeed oil in the engine, so just finishing off draining that. That would have made a mess. It's had a bit of a wee on the bench because it was upside down. Right, it's on the stand, nice and secure. So I'm going to start with, I might start with that cylinder, and I'm going to take the inlet mountings off. These bolts, screws, might be a bit tight. It's quite, what's the word, minging. It's minging in there, so get that top end bit off, get the front cylinder off, down there, and will be something light then. No danger of damaging pistons and things like that while I'm doing the rest of it, so I think I'll do that bit first. Right, that's the inlet rubbers off, pistons off, cylinders off, pistons out. All looks quite good in there, to be fair. Nice and dry. Don't think it's ever been apart, judging by the crankcase bolts. Top end's been off though, definitely. Pistons are there, so they're looking really good condition, but I'll be measuring. I'll probably put rings on it, but we'll see what they come out like, see what the tolerances are like. I'll clean all those pistons up, but they are looking very good condition. Bit of carbon on the top, but not a lot. So yeah, somebody's painted these cylinders though, which is just terrible. They've sprayed them silver. That's how I know they've been off. Plus they've put dome head bolts on every stud, which is wrong. You only have 2 at the front there with copper washers. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's all there. So I will continue with the rest of the strip down now. So 2 side casings, get the clutch and the gearbox out, and then I can split the cases, get the bearings out. So I'll be showing you that shortly. So that's side casings off. That's the right hand side. There's the clutch. All looks nice and clean inside in there, to be fair. Yeah, no excessive wear or anything by the looks of it. Just turn it around. It's had a bit of a wee again. And then we've got flywheel there, turning around, lovely and loose. That's really nice. It's not pretty, this engine, but it doesn't look in terrible condition actually inside. So I'll continue. Now it's a case of, like I said earlier, get the clutch out. So that's pretty easy. Kickstart, pinion, and then gearbox out behind that. So it's just get the whizzy gun on the clutch, then the gearbox pops out, and once that's out, I'll split the cases. Some of you might be a bit scared of both taking the clutch out, getting the clutch basket off, getting the gearbox out, and then splitting the cases. So if you've not seen it before, it's not that bad. I used to be scared of it, but just get stuck in, use the manual first few goes, and then it becomes a bit second nature. So don't be scared. If you need to restore your bike or change anything, just get stuck in, but make sure you get a manual, I would say, especially when you haven't done it before. Right, onwards. So interesting this, I've taken the clutch out, and it has been out before, because I've noticed the tab, it's been bent a couple of times, but as I've taken the clutch out, the tab's not bent over. So the clutch has been tightened up without putting the security tab over on the washer, which is a recipe for disaster really, because that could come loose, which means your clutch could come loose and rattle, which could cause damage. So not good that. Whoever's done this in the past, attention to detail is not very good. Anyway, I'll get that out and I'll show you the gearbox. Right, that's the clutch out of the way. So here we go. Here's the main drive for the gearbox. Sorry, the main drive for the gearbox. That's the idler gear. Then that's the selector. And it's just a matter of undoing all these nuts, and the whole thing just slides out. So I'll show you that. Once I get it out, I'll show you what it looks like. Right, here we go. So all undone. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 nuts holding them in. So basically it just slides out, and there we go. There's an RGV gearbox. There we are. And wow, initial thoughts are it's in good order. All the splines on the output shaft where the gear sprocket goes are in good square order. They always go a bit rusty, that's fine, just wire brush them off. But yeah, whew, that is a nice little gearbox. That it looks quite good to me. No need to really touch it apart from cleaning that spline off. So I'll keep that safe, and that just pops back in as it is. I've had these apart in the past. You've seen on that shit bike which had water ingress that some of the dogs got a bit rusty, but it was only surface rust. There's the neutral. Oh, it fell out. There it is. That's the neutral light pin, and there's a spring in there, so I'll save that, get it in a bag, just keep it safe. Yeah, there's a fair bit of sludge in there. It's been sat, this engine. The oil itself is quite clean, but there we are. So that's an empty gearbox housing. So I'm going to get these bearings out, these two main bearings for vapor blasting. So the next thing is split the top case, so it splits there. There. So undo a load of bolts and crank out, and not far off then. Doesn't take long, to be fair. Here we are with the top crankcase. Getting these bolts out was tricky. I had to heat them up and use the impact driver with one of the Allen key bits, but got them all out in one piece. So there's the top crankcase. It's ingenious, really, the way. I love RGVs for this, because the old-fashioned way of bikes before these production 250 late 80s 90s bikes came along was to split the crankcase down the middle or horizontally, and what they've done with these 90s reps is kept the crank separate from the gearbox. So it means you can take the gearbox out without touching the top end. You can leave your cylinders on, leave them cylinders on top of the crankcase, and then vice versa, you can take the crank out without touching the gearbox, which I've done. Did it on that SP back in the winter. So it's an ingenious little design, and obviously it's designed for being at the track. If you blow your crank, or you need to change your gearbox ratios, or a gear goes or whatever, it means you don't have to strip the full engine. Obviously to take the crank out you need to take the engine out, but take the gearbox out, you can leave it in the bike, just whip the clutch off and you're straight into your gearbox. So ingenious design, and these will look absolutely stunning once they're vapoured. Brand new, basically, if not better than brand new, because a few casting marks will go and whatever. So it's pretty manky, but oh, it's going to look good. I love this bit, it's so exciting. I know I'm a RGV geek, but the more you do, the more fun they are, because it gets easier. So yeah, it's as simple as, once that top case is off like that, you just take the crank out, literally just lift it out. Okay, I don't know if I can do it one-handed. Let's have a go. Yeah, there we go. And that's inside. There's a bit of debris in there, it's only rust and stuff from being sat. But yeah, there's not been any catastrophes there. It doesn't look like it's ever seized or blown a piston or done something dodgy, this bike. So happy days. So basically the last few little jobs now on the crankcase are getting this cover off so I can get seal out, the bearing out, and then take that gear shaft oil seal out. I'll replace that as a matter of course. And then, like I said earlier, it doesn't weigh anything there either. Like I said earlier, two bearings there, and there's a needle roller bearing down there. Don't know if you can see that one. Yeah, there she is. See if we can get that out, and then we're all good to go to vapour. Lovely. Things have got a bit out of hand this morning. It's all good fun though. Just taking the first cylinder head off. Yes, it's rusty, but that is just the gasket that's rusted. The inner ring on the gasket and the studs have rusted a bit, so they'll all get vapor blasted anyway. There doesn't look to be any problem with the bores though. No seizures in there, so that's good. Head's got a couple of tiny marks, but I'm not bothered about that, they'll clean up. Yeah, that's okay. Just got the other one to do. So I've taken this cylinder's apart now. As you can see, quite rusty, filthy, but all in good condition in the bore. Heads are off, power valve covers are off. So I've got power valves out of that one, and yeah, they are extremely carboned up, but I can't really do it one-handed. But I've had you can see there, they're Mark II upgraded power valves, and there's absolutely no play in the pin. There's the pin there, you can just see it. It's perfect. So these power valves are really good, which is I'm happy with. So they just need a thorough deep clean. So that's them. And then I've got, this is what they look like in the barrel, in the cylinder. So I've just about to take off these. Now these countersunk, it's not pretty, I know somebody sprayed it silver. The countersunk screws here hold this plate on, which then allows me to get the seal out. So what I've done there, let's go back to this one. In there is a seal and a bush. So you just get I've used this, so I've put that in there like that. With this is off an old rear brake lever, I think. So that's perfect because you can get a spanner on the back inside there. Yeah, the round bit pushes through and pushes the bush out, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to keep that as a set. There's always a way around this, so I've got to do the same with this. I'll get these out, I have to use the impact driver because they're always seized solid. I'll heat them up as well. Then I can undo the power valves, get them out, get the bush out. I've ruined a couple of these. These locate the power valves and hold them in. I got one out, but on the other set, the bottom two are ruined, so I'll order some new of those. But once all that's out, that's the cylinder's ready. Let's go to vapor. So we're all there then. Apart from that, that's good. So I'll start to tidy up this mess. Been a busy day. So this is what I mean by the this driving the bush out. The bush is out now. There it is in there. So that's just pushed through there, and that bush has come out, and the oil seal, which is really nice. Happy with that. Right, okay, I've not shown you the forks yet for this bike, and it kind of backs up what I've been thinking because it's all painted in satin black very badly. Both fork legs are like that, so I think this bike's been a blacks out bike because the bike originally started as a black one, black and silver one. So whoever's had it has enjoyed the fact that it's gone satin black all over, which has made a right mess. So what I'm thinking with these fork legs is the tubes, I think I might get them just skimmed on a lathe to get all the damage off, and then either get them re-anodized, but they should be silver anyway, but it'll take off the slight textured knurling effect. Whether they can put that back in or we just go smooth. Sometimes there has to be some compromises with these things, and I think that might be one of them, but it'll just be a light skim and the forks will look immaculate. or I get them skimmed and then anodized again. We'll see. The tops I'm going to get vapor blasted. Just there's a little bit, somebody's butchered the undoing nut, so just tidy that up and round it off again, no big deal. These collars come off separately so they can be skimmed as well. Now I don't think, I've examined them quite closely and I don't think there's any pitting on them. There's the odd little bit of surface rust, but if you wipe your finger on them it goes. So I think the tubes are all right, just need a good clean. So then the only other thing is I'm going to take the bottoms off, get them vapoured. This one is damaged because they've had the usual issue, which happens a lot on RGVs. The mudguard nut seizes in there, so it looks like it's been seized in and they've welded it and re-drilled it, but off centre. I've got a spare fork leg with a foot, so I'm going to use that. It's damaged a bit at the bottom anyway, it's been down the road. So yeah, they look quite tragic at the moment, but I can guarantee you they're going to look absolutely amazing when they're done. So it'll just be a full hit, strip them down, foot off, seals out, tube skimmed, top vapoured, ×2. Okay, so I'm about to just take these, try and get these feet off the forks, because these are going for vapour and a bit of tidying up. So to get these off, there's a screw thread that runs on the bottom of the fork, and that's Loctited, big long thread inside this foot. But there's also a little locking grub screw which goes into there. Now the way to get these out, there are little Torx. This is one of the first one I've just taken out. So there it is. It's a Torx bit, and there's the little Torx. So they're very fragile. You can see that one's already bending, but it does the job. So you have to heat them up because that's Loctited as well. So I've got this one out and I'm just about to start heating this one up. And once you get some proper heat into it with a butane bottle blower burner, you can get the Torx into there and it comes out quite easily, but you have to get some good heat into it. So don't ever try and get this out cold, because you'll probably just snap this Torx bit. As you can see, mine's already bending, but I don't mind sacrificing it to get it out, because they're only coppers, these. So that's my little tip for getting fork legs out, and then I'll show you, I've done this before on a previous bike, but I'll show you how you get these off. But I'm going to make a jig because I don't want to damage this stanchion. When I'm sending them off to chrome it doesn't matter, but these are okay. So I'm going to make a wooden block that I can put in the vise that holds the fork leg tight. So that's something new I'm going to do in a minute. Right, let's get this one out. So you put that in gently and just feel it. This one's playing up. Right, I've snapped it. Okay, so I might have to drill it out. Damn. These are the problems you get, and that's after it being heated up as well. Well, I'm here, thankfully. I'll just show you the sky. It's cloudy for the first time in 2 weeks, and it's a bit cooler. So I thought, I'm at my outdoor bench, my newly restored outdoor bench, and I'm just about to start the mammoth task of cleaning up all the parts that go for zinc. So there's the box with everything in. So all that needs cleaning up. So I've got a hand drill, both battery powered and plug-in. Plug-in's got a bit more oomph. I've got all my wire brushes and wire wheels. I've got mask for all the dust, gloves, safety ear defenders, glasses which count as eye protection, and I've got 3 pots. Now the 3 pots are clear, silver zinc, gold zinc, and green, black, olive drab zinc. So as I clean them, so for instance, that'll be clear silver zinc, the light bracket with green, olive drab, etc, etc. So I'll be cleaning these up. You've seen me do this before, so no point in showing you the process, but basically you've got to clean these with a wire brush, possibly some Scotch-Brite pad as well. But the cleaner you get these and the more meticulous you are, the better your zinc will come back. So this isn't a short process. This box will probably take me a day, a full day. When I say a full day, I mean 8 hours. I might not do it in one hit because it's hard work and the vibration gets to my fingers. So I'll show you some progress along the way.